Greetings and bienvenue, Midnight Crew. Thank you for returning to this broadcast. And welcome to new viewers joining us for the first time. If you like a video, then feel free to subscribe.
Alone at Uncle's house with my doggy. Uncle not coming home till morning. Home is in the middle of Emptyville. Giant forest all around the house, except for the road in the front part of the house. Only house in the range of 10 miles. Browsing/X/4 o'clock. Start hearing grasping sound outside the main door. It's cold, not gonna check. Dog starts barking. Dog is usually very quiet, hardly ever barks. When it does, it's because something is really bothering him. 40 minutes later, grasp still going. Dog going batshit crazy. Fuck it, let's see. Grab a baseball bat and torch. Bring dog with me for protection just in case. As soon as I approach the doorknob, heavy footsteps run away from the door. Go out like a madman screaming, "Who's out there?" No one. Dog keeps barking at the forest. Chill, dude, no one here. Turn 180. A giant smile made with bright red paint covers 80% of the house, windows included. What? Brain trying to process. Hear sound in the left side of the house, forest general direction, run back inside. Dog still out barking. Enter idiot. Dog is barking so loudly. Get in the house. He's distracted by something in the woods. Sprint and take the dog. I catch a glimpse of something giant moving in the forest. Wait till morning, locked in the living room with bat in hand and dog still barking. Turns out my uncle found the paint can and a bright red knife in the woods near the home the day after.
Working as a production assistant on a TV show. I'm the first production assistant on set at the abandoned Riverview mental institution. It's 6 a.m., still dark outside. I finish opening and decide to sit down while I wait for the other crew. I'm sitting in a chair next to the stairwell. I'm really tired and starting to zone out. Suddenly I hear the faint sounds of children laughing and playing. I realize the sounds are coming from the basement. There is no possibility anyone is around for kilometers. As my first coworker arrives, I ask if they hear the sounds of children playing. They stop as I ask. Just another day of work at Riverview. The best story of working on films there was during a show when after a good take we were about to move on. But the sound mixer was like, "No, we need to go again." The director was like, "It sounded fine, what was the problem?" And he goes to listen to playback. The look on his face as he listened to that audio, then says, "Yeah, let's do it again." Later, the sound mixer told us that halfway through the take, he picked up a loud woman screaming. Nobody heard it during the filming. There are a lot of great stories from crews that worked there. It's where that movie Grave Encounters was filmed, as well as almost every other movie and TV show produced in Vancouver.
Not very interesting, but I worked for a small amusement park for many years. I filled in as caretaker for a couple of months while they found a new one. I lived in an apartment on the premises. One night, a buddy came by to hang out. It was lonely there. We decided to go monkey around in the haunted house. Part of my job was to turn everything on in the morning and make sure it all worked okay. I've been doing this for years, so I know the inside of this place and how it works like the back of my hand. We decided not to turn the sound or music on since it's fairly loud and might disturb the neighbors. Discover going through the haunted house and having it be silent except for the squeaks and clicks of the machinery was way creepier than normal operation. Most things are motion controlled, but there is a small hidden control booth where a couple of things are manually controlled by an employee. One of the manually controlled things is like a zombie bride that sits in a chair. The employee pushes a button as people walk past, and the bride pops up out of the chair by pneumatic power. As me and my buddy got to the bride, it started going apeshit. It was popping up out of the chair repeatedly. It shouldn't have been able to do this because A, no one was manning the booth, and B, the air compressor takes a long time to spool up enough pressure to do anything, and we'd only just turned it on. We noped the fuck out. I have many creepy stories from when I was caretaking there, but that's the only one I haven't been able to explain. The park is outside of town, on the edge of fairly extensive woods. The park is on a hill. The caretaker apartment is located at the bottom edge of the park, so the whole park is above it on the hill. One of the caretaker duties is to monitor the park-wide motion alarm system. When the alarm goes off, you're supposed to go out and check around for people trying to break in. It goes off on average 3 or 4 times a night, a lot more if it's raining or windy. It's usually branches or leaves falling into the sensors, or animals. There are a lot of animals. One night I was woken up by the alarm at 3 a.m. It's one of the sensors at a snack booth at the top of the hill. I grumble and put my shoes on, grab my flashlight, and hike up the hill to check it out. I go around the corner and shine my light at the snack booth. A family of possums have managed to knock a lid off a large trash can and are digging through it for grub. There are like 10 of them all kinda sitting on the rim. Simultaneously, they slowly turn their heads towards me and then proceed to hiss and screech at me. Nope. The thing you have to understand about the critters at the park that makes them all extra spooky is that A, they're all acclimated to people. For the most part, they stay hidden during the day, but they are around. They couldn't give a single fuck about you. B, they're all huge from glutting on junk food they find in the garbage and on the ground. I used to have a collection of pictures I took of gray squirrels the size of cats covered in nacho cheese. Another time. One night an alarm goes off late, like 1 a.m., along the fence with the neighbors. It's one you kinda have to watch because the neighbor is one of those motorhome campgrounds, and if someone wanted to, they could just hike through the woods and hop a fence. I go out there, don't see anything, check around for people, then go back to the fence for a closer look. The fence is all torn and tangled up and there's blood everywhere. I call out in case someone is hurt. I hear rustling in the undergrowth like 20 feet away. Nope. It was probably a deer that got caught in the fence, but it was still creepy.
All right. Anon has one. Be me working at a wood mill in my town. It's the weekend graveyard shift and I'm there all alone. I'm walking by the little wood dryer. I hear a hister start up. What the French dip. I walk towards the aisle as the sound of the hister driving gets louder. I get to the aisle and look towards where the heaters are usually parked. I hear it but don't see it. The hister sounds like it's going Mach potato salad. Suddenly, a wind gust as powerful as a fart from a 600-pound fatty who just ate the world's bean supply hits me. The hister engine sound stops. Silence. I turn around and grab my broom. I continue sweeping like nothing happened, even though I'm shitting my pants internally. I ask to switch shifts. Fuck the weekend graveyard.
This story was from when I was a CNA in training at a nursing home. At lunch, one of the residents complains to me about his food. He was one of the ones that had to be on oxygen, so his tank sat beside him. I go to the cafeteria to change it. I come back to the guy with his food, and he throws a fit. I scolded him. I see that he feels bad, so I apologize. About a week later, I'm helping the CNAs on his haul, and I'm called into his room by a group. The guy wasn't looking good. We had to change his bed due to the body fluids he released. They're the kind that let someone know you're dying. Not pleasant, but I didn't care. The 3 CNAs in there and 1 nurse kept complaining and saying they couldn't be there. They didn't want to see someone die. All but me, 1 other CNA, and the nurse stayed there to wait for the ambulance. I hold his hand and feel his energy leaving his body. I was quietly cursing the other CNAs for being ignorant and selfish. At some point I'm alone with him and I whisper, "I'm sorry for being an asshole at lunch a few days ago. I hope the next life is more kind to you." I left and came back the next day on my shift. I walked towards the guy's hall and on the way, see EMTs pushing him back to his room. His eyes were so bright and he was looking dead at me. I smile and go about my work, glad he was okay. During my lunch, I asked my coworkers how he was doing today. They look at me like I'm dumb. "Anon, he died last night." I tell them that I saw him earlier, but they don't believe me. This story was from when I answered a call light. An elderly woman complained to me about the man standing in her room staring at her. I tell her she's fine, and he means no harm. He was just confused. I said that out of nowhere, then felt as if that was true. 3 nights later, I'm answering a different call light, and out of the corner of my eye, I see a man in that woman's room.
Nursing homes have to be some of the most haunted places. So many people just forgotten or abandoned. It's so sad, and thanks to you for being so kind. My grandmother worked in them when I was young. I remember so many of them just wanted someone to visit them. My mother was in a rehab or nursing home a couple of years ago. You could just feel the place was busy with spirits around you. Just felt kind of crowded, even when no one was really around.
Yeah, you're right about that. I saw a bunch of other stuff while I worked there. There was this guy on our hall with hospice care, also known as about to die, for anyone wondering. The night he passed, he was talking to someone, and I glanced in his room to see a bright glow come from above him. Oh. And there was this call light at the very end of the hall that kept coming on around the same time. Residents would always request to move from that room, and multiple times electricians were there to try and fix the wire. It had been fixed and still came on. I remember the first time working there, the light went on and I noticed none of the other CNAs checked it. I rushed down there, even after one of them said, "Don't bother." The room was completely empty save for the beds and nightstands. I walked in and it was very hot. I looked at the heater and it was at max during the summer too. I turned the call light off and didn't have a problem all that night. The times after that the heater stayed off, but I always got the feeling someone needed company.
This happened in January last year. I guess I did not wake up the first time I thought I did, but rather some form of lucid dreaming, I think. I'm not sure what the hell it was, but it was creepy. I'm asleep. A really loud bang from the kitchen wakes me up. I go out to check. It's dark. I hear knocking on the door. I go to open the door. There stands a woman with her 2 kids. She asks for money. I tell them to wait there. I go get change from the living room floor. What the fuck? I see the kids are coming towards me. I get angry and kick them out of my apartment. I hear them talking angrily in some language I don't know. I lock the door behind them. I look through the peephole. Suddenly, the woman's face is so close to the peephole that all I see is her red eyes staring into mine. I nope the fuck away from the door. And now I wake up in my bed. What just happened?
B12. Just moved to another town. I befriended a couple of neighborhood kids. They somehow come to the consensus that I need to be initiated into their group. They dare me to go into the basement of an abandoned farmhouse 15 minutes away. I agree because I want to make friends. That night, I make the walk in good time down an old country road near the woods. It's pitch black except for when cars go by. I only have my phone to use as a light. The group waits outside while I head in alone. It's creepy but not nope-worthy. I could hear one of the kids trying to sneak in to scare me. The footsteps in the tall grass are super obvious. It's not funny. This is dumb. Let's go. Eerie silence for a solid minute. I hear one of the kids yell, "Anon, you can come out now," as I hear his footsteps approach from fairly far away. I leave the barn to meet the kid. The kid asked something like, "Was it scary?" before he stares at something behind me for a few seconds, then bolted into the woods. I caught up to him and the rest of the group. He was crying hysterically. I asked him what he saw. He refuses to describe it. 15. 3 years later. I'm still friends with the neighborhood kids at this point in time. I randomly remember that night. I ask the kid what he saw. He draws me a pic. He says the figure had one hand on the door like it was peeping around the corner. Nope! Pic related. It's a screen cap of the pic I took.
B13. I just moved into an old home in a small town with my parents. I got weird vibes from day one. A couple weeks in, shit started to happen. My parents got woken up by the police department at 3 in the morning, saying they just got a call from our house. They said someone was heavily breathing into the phone. The police department said they get calls like that sometimes from our house, and they just wanted to check and make sure nothing was actually wrong. I would come home from school sometimes and furniture would not be in the right place. I would hear footsteps coming from the attic when nobody was up there. There was a strong smell of tobacco all throughout the house, even though neither of my parents smoked. My dad got another transfer, so we needed to move again. We packed all of our shit. We were leaving the house in the moving van. I look back at the house one more time, and there was a dude wearing a full suit with a top hat standing in the attic window.
Might be stupid, but I'll give this a go. 3 years ago, we move every year because my family is inconsistent. My sister finds a house on Craigslist. It's an old historical house. They love it because it's massive. This is a bad idea. .webm. We go there. I get really creepy vibes. Like I could feel the presence of every person who has ever lived there. The house feels heavy. I'm trying to sleep one night. I can't fall asleep. It's pitch black in my room. Out of nowhere, I hear a female voice say, "Ground." I immediately jump up and stare into the darkness. A chill up my spine like never before. Nope. Avi. Turn every light on in the entire room. Later on, the landlord tells me he grew up in the house and it's haunted. The scary thing is I leave my fan on full because it helps me sleep. There should have been no way I heard anything with it on full. I don't typically believe in ghosts or this kind of thing because it's illogical, but I can't explain this. I've got a more sinister one if anyone wants to hear. Things got stranger from there. My girlfriend told me this happened to her one morning. Same historical house. There was constant fighting between all of us. All our issues came out to the surface. My girlfriend was arranging DVDs or Blu-rays one morning before she went to work. She got up around 5. It was still semi-dark out. She had been emotionally strained from the constant fighting and tension. She heard a voice that said, "Put those away." She froze up. The voice said it again, more angry. "Nope.webm." She literally ran to our room and jumped into the bed on top of me. I've never seen her this upset before. She was pale and her eyes were fully dilated. Tears were ruining her makeup. To this day, it almost brings her to tears. She described the voice as very deep and masculine and, I guess, violent. I forgot to mention earlier, but the basement was the creepiest place I've ever seen in my life. Multiple rooms and lots of dead rooms and doors, meaning nothing of value or any use. Almost like catacombs with no lights. Very foul or stale smelling, but I never found anything down there. I don't have any more relating to the historical house, but I have a lot of supernatural stuff from my mom's side. This story isn't creepy to them, but to me, it is. Be my aunt. 28 years ago. Her dad died of a rare cancer. The family was torn apart by his death. Very saddened. The house and bathroom were a mess because no one was in the right state of mind. I'll do it tomorrow. She went to sleep. She had a dream that she was in the house alone and someone was in the bathroom. Who the fuck is it? She looked in the bathroom. It was her dad. He was cleaning the bathroom. He told her to go to sleep. She woke up thinking that was a strange dream. She noticed the house and bathroom were entirely clean. I asked my aunt if anyone else could have done it, but she was the only person home that night. Also, my grandmother was very creepy. She used to practice a type of witchcraft while at the same time practicing Christianity. Very bizarre, but she used to give us this creepy-ass stare, like if you locked eyes with her, I swear she could see into you. Be my grandma. She lives in a very bad urban neighborhood. She sees a gangbanger running around. She approaches him and has a conversation. She tries to figure out why he does what he does. He seems nice but very troubled. They go their separate ways. She finds out later he was shot to death. Waste of talent.exe. Supposedly this was a dream. With my grandma. She's telling me the dream. She describes the gangbanger in detail. She points to the TV. That's him. I look at the TV. It's Tupac Shakur. He was shot to death that day. The thing that makes it creepy is my grandmother never listened to rap, hip-hop, or virtually anything on the radio. She had no idea who the hell he was. Not a nope story, but my next one is. Be my sister. She's living in our second house. She's about 8. Dad always taunts us when we act up. He says he will unleash his private gorilla on us. We laugh him off all the time. She's sleeping one night. She gets up dancing to the bathroom. She passes our parents' room. Something is off. Something is blocking the doorway. She puts her hand out. She feels something unnaturally hairy. She feels up. She feels sharp teeth. She looks up. Glowing red eyes are bearing down on her. Nope.exe. She runs back to her room. She bolts into bed. She hides under the covers. She peeks at the doorway. Something large is in the doorway. My sister never in her life peed on herself, but that day she did. She swears to this day this happened and we laugh at her. My dad denies it was him, but it would be the type of shit he would do. The problem is he wasn't around at the time and doesn't own a gorilla suit.
B 2 years ago. I go to my grandma's place for vacation with my 2 younger sisters. We got there at night. Fast forward to the next day. In the morning, Grandma will do her daily routine, going to the market. My sisters decided to go with her. My grandma lives in a province and it takes almost 20 minutes to get to the market. I'm all alone in the big-ass old house. I decided to watch a movie. Halfway through the movie, I hear someone open the gate. It's old and a bit rusty, so it makes a loud noise when opening or closing it. I look out the window and see my youngest sister walking. She enters the house. I hear her go to the kitchen. I'm wondering why she came home alone. I go to the kitchen. I see her just standing there in the kitchen. I ask her why she's a bit early and where my other sister and grandma are. No reply. I decided to go back to watching the movie. Not thinking of any spooky stuff, so everything feels normal. I hear random noises in the kitchen. I tell myself it's just my sister. A couple of minutes before finishing the movie, I hear the gate open. I see Grandma and my two sisters enter. What the fuck? .png. I go to the kitchen. No one's there. I ask them. They don't know what I'm talking about. Fast forward to dinner. Grandma tells me that I saw a doppelganger or some shit similar to that. But she says it's definitely a doppelganger. I noped to bed early. No spooks happened to me again the entire vacation.
I'm renting a home while I do project management work for a company. I'm installing these truck elevator things. Literally, what the fuck is this? I have to stay all day well into the night to get it done, but nobody else had seen them before either, so it's okay. The home I'm in is really nice. It's a cabin that the owner had pimped out so much it's basically a nice house. I'm paying him to stay there while I'm working. It's cheap and nice, and he was not using it this season. The only problem is it's out in cabin-ish country. Not that far away, but up a fucking dirt road. The dark adds like 20 minutes to the commute home. It's fucking annoying, almost 50 plus minutes at that point. I get home at 12:40. I started work at 8:30 that morning. I am dead tired. I get in the door and my cat greets me. Nope. The cat's not actually greeting me. It wants to go outside. The little fucker usually just goes outside for like 20 seconds, then comes and mews to be let in. I let him go out and leave the door ever so slightly open. I go to take a piss. The bathroom is right near the door. I'm washing my hands and suddenly hear a weird ass noise. At first I think it's my cat, because anyone who has owned a cat knows they can make some fucked up sounds they rarely make. But the noise is more like a person humming a sound like but undulating their voice up and down. I'm still thinking this is my cat, but I have this fucked up feeling when I go to open the bathroom door, like I'm scared to see all of a sudden. The sound changes. I can hear something knocking shit on the tables near my door, and now I think it's not my cat, but maybe a raccoon or something. My cat never knocks shit over, and I did leave the door open. I force myself to open it slowly. The sound is still coming. I can hear something breathing. I see pick related. I'm fucking frozen solid looking at this thing. It notices me and backs out. I close the door when I think it's gone. It fucking robbed me. It took a framed, hand-drawn calligraphy thing my friend from China gave me in a vase. The cat was in the house under the couch after.
I hope that you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you enjoyed tonight's story, then please subscribe to the channel, as more Greentext will appear daily. A new broadcast will appear when the clock strikes midnight Central Time.